Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be a client's 2019 wishes reading. For the 2019 wishes, I add up the month and day and the 2019 year to come up with your tarot card for 2019. And then I will also be pulling cards to answer some of the questions that you have concerning your new year. So for you, I added up your numbers and you got 2. So your year card is the High Priestess, which is actually really nice. So a little bit about the High Priestess, that she's all about embracing your intuitive abilities, your gifts, your tapping into your intuition, utilizing your intuitive insights to help guide you through a process. So considering the fact that, you know, some of the questions that you asked for your reading, it's going to be very important that you really trust your gut as you go through these experiences and these changes throughout 2019. And the High Priestess energy is just, she's very independent. She owns herself, but she's also very reliant on her intuitive gifts. So when there's questions that you may have, when there's times where you want to seek advice from other people, it's as even though it is nice to be able to turn to other people for advice, and insight, it's also very amazing to be able to tap into yourself, your higher self, which the High Priestess kind of embodies the higher self of us. And going with your gut instinct and following your heart and all of that, all of the above. So she's definitely kind of, the 2 card embraces that. The number 2 in general is also, like, if we're going to talk about numerology, to me, I take it as like working as a team with your significant other, okay? In order for you guys to obtain, to be able to get a handle on life and the changes that you guys are going to be experiencing together, the 2 card represents working as a team, less as more independence. So it's nice to be independent and to have your own separate life, but it is also very important that you work as a team with your significant other. Is basically what I'm trying to say. I also pulled the 2 cards from the minor arcana. So the 2 of Swords can reveal for this year, you may feel some blocks. You may feel a need to kind of isolate yourself from other individuals. Maybe you will feel like you just don't get along with, or you aren't included enough in certain social circles that maybe you once felt that you were. So I'm also just getting the energy of needing to be at peace with yourself. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the High Priestess card. When it comes to you trusting your intuition, I feel like the 2 of Swords is going to be the lesson of learning to quiet everybody else on the outside, and seeking inner wisdom within yourself. The 2 of Cups is what I was talking about with working as a team with your significant other. You and your significant other, your marriage, your bond together, the promises that you made when you were married, all of this stuff is going to come up again this year. I feel like all of this stuff is going to show just how important it is that you 2 work together and are on the same page in order to make these changes a positive experience. The 2 of Pentacles can reveal this year you may be coming up with a lot of forks in the road. A lot of big major decisions will be popping up for you this year. So get ready for that. Also understand that you cannot make a decision if you are not communicating with your significant other. So that's why I'm saying it's very important that the 2 of you are working as a team and are on the same page about a lot of the decisions that are going to be coming up, because you're going to find yourself trying to make up your mind about things. But if you and your significant other are not on the same page, these decision-making factors may feel a lot more burdensome than they should be, okay? And then the 2 of Wands is representing, I feel like this is the moving card. So I feel like definitely there will be some sort of a move taking place with you and your lover. This could be like moving locations, moving jobs. So, or all of the above, like you mentioned in your email, you feel that change is ahead and there will be, you know, things taking place. So I do see this as a factor of, yes, the 2 card is saying there will be moves taking place. It could be just on a personal level. But it could also be as a group, as a whole, the two of you moving locations, as in a new house or a new city or a new workplace. And again, that is why it takes the two of you to be on the same page and a big major support system for one another, because you're going to need that to feel comfortable in that process of change. Okay, so now that we talked about your year card, the decks I'm going to be working with for your reading are the Golden Rider Tarot. I also pulled the Soulful Woman Oracle because one of the questions that you asked pertains to womanhood and just us women in general. So I feel like this deck would be amazing for you. And then I also, because of the women or the femininity of the question, I also pulled out my Divine Feminine Oracle for some divine insight. So I think that'll be kind of cool to see what divine insight is coming out for you. And by divine, I'm talking about, like, you know, gods and goddesses and that kind of energy. So let me just get my decks out. And I'm going to take the guidebook out just in case I need to refer to it. So let's just go ahead and see the energy of 2019. Your questions are, you're concerned with moving and new jobs that are possibly coming up. Hubby is leaving a major thing in his life. I'm not going to go ahead and, I'm not going to say it because just for privacy reasons. But hubby will be exiting a specific career choice. How to best meet upcoming challenges ahead. You two do not have kids at the moment, but you're hoping for some in the future once the two of you are settled, and you are wanting to know how to grow as a woman to make the most of these upcoming changes. So I gotta say, as I was repeating the questions that you asked for your reading, I gotta say, intuitively, I'm sensing that these changes that are going to be taking place are going to re-identify. They are going to rewrite who you are as a wife, and how you are as a wife. And it's really cool to see this question come up because I learn a lot from my client readings. So I'm going to just tell you right now, on a personal level, it'll be really nice to see what comes through for you, because I feel like I will also learn some stuff for myself on a personal level with your reading. So you are not alone being a wife and going through changes and wanting to be a best support system and whatnot. So I totally get it. I totally get it. So let's see what's popping up. So Judgment came up. There's that Two of Pentacles and the Magician. I love it. So the Judgment card coming up is reflecting to me, this is the calling, okay? This is almost like a higher calling from the divine that is saying this, all of these changes taking place have been pretty much in the works. I feel like by your husband's decision to leave a certain calling that he had once had in his life, he is literally tapping into a life purpose, okay? So his choice to do this is something that was going to be destined. It was going to happen no matter what, okay? And basically, he is going to be having to listen and trust his own inner calling for where his next move is going to be. And because he's leaving something that he's probably been very much physically, mentally, and emotionally invested in for so long, I feel like that's why it's going to require you as the wife to be a huge support system in this journey and in this change for him. Not just looking at it as from your own perspective as a major change for yourself and you, the two of you as a married couple, but a big change for your husband as well. Right in the middle is this Two of Pentacles. So this is going to be one of the biggest ones. One of the biggest changes is him exiting his choice of, for so long, his choice of career and moving into a whole new job, basically. And the Magician card is kind of revealing that the two of you got it, okay? You're going to be able to manifest you, but this is what's going to be important, is that the two of you do work on manifesting these big supportive changes. And you guys got to be on the same page about this. So I'm hoping that you are communicating together where you guys want to go, where you're headed, because this Two of Pentacles shows me maybe the two of you kind of butt heads with some of your ideas. So you're gonna want to make sure you're on the same page so that you can both manifest that next step. Mary of Nazareth, the Mother of God, came through. I love it. This is, I am blessed. My courage gives birth to the divine. I love it. So I feel like she's coming forward almost as mother energy, which she usually is mama energy to me. And she's basically saying, she's giving you courage to face these changes, that everything is going to be okay, that you are going to get through this, that it, you know, that kind of vibration. I got ageless beauty with grace, dignity, and strength. I grow into the unique texture of my feminine soul. So I like this for you. I feel like this is just kind of saying throughout 2019, Mama Mary is saying, you know, I give you courage and strength to persevere. Same kind of message with this one, with the I grow in unique texture of my feminine soul with grace, dignity, and strength. So it's basically like saying you're gonna be change is not always easy. It's scary. It's the unknown, all of the above. But I'm feeling like for you, you're gonna be given this whole new wave of courage to overcome some of these more challenging areas. I'm also going to pull from my Oracle of the Radiant Sun, this deck, just for some added clarity. So we have exaltation, versatility, and birth. I love it. So those three cards kind of give me the energy of you know, cheering each other on and being each other's support system. Versatility is kind of saying be ready for any kind of changes that come forward, and be flexible. Be flexible with one another. Be flexible with one another's ideas. And then birth is almost like saying two things. One, it's saying it's going to give you, you're going to have new experiences, new things coming up, new opportunities, new doorways to walk through, okay? And birth can also be a literal factor of having a baby. So that may be coming up in the works for you as we see that. It's really cool to see that. I think that is almost, it's almost nice. It's almost like, you know, when the two of you are balanced and aligned, because we have both the moon and the sun. It's almost like when you and your husband are balanced and aligned and working as a team, the baby will be born. So at least that's how I'm seeing that. But I feel like that kind of answers one of your questions already. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's look into we already know with your husband leaving what he's leaving, you need to be the support system and kind of see things from his point of view. So let's answer the next question of how to best meet upcoming challenges ahead. You could already tell with the two cards coming up, like I said, being a teammate, working with your husband, but also trusting your intuition. Those are some ways that you are going to be able to face challenges. Following your heart. Your husband is following his heart in his own way. You also need to be doing yours. At the same time, you two are holding hands and walking each other through the process. So we have the Fool card, we have the Star, and we have the Page of Wands. So the Fool card is telling me first how to best meet upcoming challenges. The Fool is saying go with the flow. Let things flow as they are meant to. Let everything fall into place. Let everything happen. Let the cards fall on the table, and then you deal with it in the way that you need to. Okay? I also see this Fool card as saying, because he also represents looking at from different points of view. So when you find yourself challenged with maybe, you know, your marriage might be coming up to some challenges with a change, you got to look at it from different eyes. And one pair of eyes that you need to look at it of is your husband's eyes. Not just seeing these changes from your perspective, but also what is he experiencing? How is he viewing these changes as well? That's going to help you maybe even relax you a little bit when it comes to stress over change. The star card is at the core, so what's going to be very much important is that you are constantly in self-healing mode. You are constantly allowing yourself to feel emotion, that you're allowing yourself to release emotion when you need to. Don't bottle it up, in other words. I also feel like the star card is just kind of a healing or having hope and faith in everything. So don't lose faith, don't lose hope in the future. Things may seem rough and rocky at the moment when they're challenging, but eventually you guys will find your footing. And then that's where the Page of Wands comes in. Pages of Wands are students and learners, and they're new. And these are new opportunities and new inspirations that come through. So with the change, you may be inspired to do something different with even yourself. So the first part of change may be your husband working on his goals for his career. But then maybe in that will spark you to see some new ways of, oh, I want to try this, or I want to obtain this goal. But Pages of Wands are inspired. They're literally inspired to create something from what they have. So I love that. I think that that's going to be very helpful for you. Let's answer the next question. What are you wanting to know? Or you're wanting to know how you can grow as a woman to make the most of change. So growing as a woman. For the first thing, the High Priestess, she's all about, like I said, tapping into your intuition, being in touch with your higher self. Maybe your spirituality will be changing. Maybe you will be tapping more into, being in prayer or meditating and learning new ways to calm your soul. That might be one version of yourself that may change. Following my truth, believing in and following my inner truth helps me live an authentic and empowered life. So following your truth as you go through this process of change. What is your truth? What is it that you need? What does your body require at this moment? I feel like that kind of goes also hand in hand with the star card, where we're talking about making sure that you are in self-healing mode and in self-love mode, taking care of your needs alongside the needs of your husband and maybe other people around you, but also making sure you devote time for you. That's a huge one. We also got the flow of partnership. The ebb and flow of relationship takes me where I need to be next on my path. That is exactly what I was just talking about. The ebb and flow of relationship. This is relationship with your husband, okay? The two of you being on some common ground will make these changes so much more easier to handle. And then also this is the ebb and flow of your relationship with yourself. Not losing sight of who you are, allowing yourself to dedicate time to you. When you need a quiet time, that Two of Swords that we were talking about before, when you need quiet time, allow yourself to have that quiet time, okay? And then we have the surrendering. I honor the truth in surrender as it opens me to gifts of divine grace. So this to me is saying surrendering your worries, your stresses and your questions, your obsessions over the future, surrendering it to a higher self. So this, or a higher source. So this could be, your faith, like I was talking about. Having faith, being in prayer. If you believe in God, it would be trusting that God is going to take care of things and he's going to provide, and just basically trusting that things are going to happen as they are meant to. When you surrender, you're basically saying, I am not going to fight for full control. It's almost similar to that hangman card I pulled for you, where I'm saying you have to go with the flow. It's pretty much like that. You're surrendering your stresses and your need for control and saying, I'm going to allow them to happen. I'm going to allow things to take place as they are meant to, and trust that everything is going with divine timing. Let's see with the Divine Feminine deck, which card comes up for you. Teresa of Avila, Our Lady of the Interior Life. I trust the answers I find within me. I know the presence of love is real. So this is, again, trusting in love, trusting in yourself, trusting in your divine and your higher version of you. I also love how it says love, because I feel like that is when you and your husband, like I said, are on the same page and you guys are just working as a team, it's going to feel so much better. So how, like, to answer your question, how can you grow as a woman? Self-care, self-love, seeing things from your husband's perspective versus not only just your own eyes, surrendering your worries to either a higher source, or just surrendering it and saying, I'm not going to obsess and worry so much over this. I'm going to just let things go as they're meant to flow. Okay. And then also, like, that self-care, get yourself into a hobby, get yourself into some sort of practice that makes you feel good, whether it's like painting or writing or coloring, you know, color in a coloring book, turn on some music and do that, or cooking or exercise. Like, you need to have activities that are going to make you feel less stress and just more comfortable with where you're at. We have the Four of Cups. We have the Magician, and then we have the Three of Wands. So the opportunities are there, okay? The Magician kind of reveals that what the opportunities are there for you. That Four of Cups energy is like saying you don't always have to take everything all at once. You don't always have to battle everything all at once. Sometimes it's okay to say no. Sometimes it's okay to turn away and advancement. So I also feel like this is kind of saying, like, there's going to be multiple things that you guys are going to be coming up and facing this year. But try not to face everything all at once. Sometimes it's okay to turn your back and say, you know what? I don't have time and energy for this. I'll deal with you later. And you let it be. The Magician card is saying, you know, when you guys are on the same page and you know what you both want, working together to manifest these dreams to come true. And the Three of Wands, again, is my card of, like, moving locations. It's like long-term, long distance, it's travel. So I do see that in your guys' future. I do see this whole change taking place. There's going to be a new foundation. There's going to be a lot of big changes for you. So there's going to be some good stuff happening, but I will say that it does seem a little bit for you scary. I feel like change isn't easy for you. And I feel like for you it's just, it worries you to have to uproot. But hey, uprooting it can be scary, but sometimes it comes with some really good advantages. So, and I only speak from personal experience. I recently uprooted and it's been a journey, but you know what? We do what we have to do. Okay. And last but not least, let's just pull the energy of starting a family in the future. I just, you know, want to see what's going to pop up. Starting a family in the future. Three of Wands, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords. This kind of tells me, first off, Three of Wands, I'm saying after you guys move, most likely a pregnancy will appear. And I'm seeing these two ace cards as two literal beginnings. I feel like it's going to be a boy and a girl because they're opposite one another. So I'm just going to take the cards as it is. Like, I'm not going to go dive into details about that. But I'm just going to go ahead and say that I feel like after the major move takes place, there will be a pregnancy or two. Okay, and because it's opposites, like the hands are facing opposite directions, I take that as a boy and a girl. Okay, so I'm just gonna say two babies. Could be twins. I don't know if twins run in your guys' family. It could be twins. This could be having a baby back to back. Okay, so one right after the other, boom, boom. Or it could be, like I said, a boy and a girl. But that's kind of like the first thing I'm feeling when I see that. Manipulation, health, egotism. Do not allow your self-doubts. That's what the manipulation is to me. This is your mind. When you begin the process of allowing yourself to conceive, do not do that to yourself, okay? Don't be, because the egotism is also like your mind. Your mind is gonna play tricks on you. The manipulation card just makes me feel like you're gonna be your own worst critic, okay? You're gonna start having either doubts of being a mother, doubts of being able to conceive, that kind of thing. I feel like that's what's popping up there. It may have already started. Maybe you feel doubtful of your ability to have babies. The health card is popping up for you. So I'm just going to say, because I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to be, I'm not here to tell you what you have or whatnot, but I will say with the health card popping up, it's just be very aware of what you're eating, how much you are consuming. Be aware of your health. If you don't feel right, go to the doctor. And also just be aware of your cycle, start counting your menstrual cycle and all of that to start seeing when you ovulate and all of this. Those are ways that you're going to be able to make the baby making much more, much more natural. But I feel like with the health card, it's just kind of saying, make sure you're drinking enough water, make sure you are being healthy, you're eating the right foods for your body. Don't be going on any crazy diets or just, you know what I mean? Like, just be good. And especially when you are preparing your body for a baby. So that's what I see there. But I'm going to leave that as that because, like I said, I'm not a health provider or anything. I don't want to get too deep with that. But anyways, my love, it looks like your 2019 is going to be very, very eventful. I just feel like the energies, there's a lot of shifts happening, but once the two of you are settled, and like I said, I feel like that 3 of Wands card is saying, like, once the two of you are settled, once you have moved, okay, something big and major happens, the babies will follow after that. But I feel like you just go with the flow. Literally, it's probably the main phrase for your reading is just go with the flow. And don't be hard on yourself, okay? So this concludes your 2019 wishes reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you. And if you have any questions, send me an email. Anyone who's watching, if you would like a reading for yourself, go ahead and click the link in my description box. It'll take you to my website. And I will connect with you guys soon. Bye, loves.